Welcome, everyone. I'm Melissa Robertson. I'm one of the co-chairs of our Mid-Atlantic Watson Caring Science Regional Caritas Consortia, and we have a presentation today for you. My co-chairs are Victoria Shaw and Dina Karasiotis. So we are happy that you can join us. I'm going to introduce Diane Reed, who is the Watson Caring Science Institute Program Enrichment Director, and she's going to take it from here, Diane.
Great, thank you, Melissa. I'm very happy to be here today with those who are our co-chairs and also our guest speaker, JoAnne, and our guests who are popping in as we get started. So you haven't missed anything, and we're so happy to have you here. And I would like to introduce Victoria Shaw, who is our co-chair from Ohio, and she's going to lead us in a centering moment before we get on with our main presentation.
Thank you, Diane. Welcome, everybody. I've just lit a tiny little votive here just to remind myself of the light that is within all of us and connecting all of us. So as I'm leading us through this centering and grounding, I have this lovely little votive here. So if everybody would just find their posture of practice, whatever that is for you, hopefully feet on the ground and your body nice and upright for a channel of energy so that the earth energies and the heaven energies can move freely through your beautiful column of gravity that you have, grounding you to this earth. And just taking a moment to feel the breath coming in and then just easily falling out. And if there's a little pause at the bottom of the breath, just let that pause open up a little tiny bit. And just find the stillness and the silence there. And then if there's a little tiny pause at the top of the breath, just feel for that. What is that little pause? And then feeling the space around you in the room, especially the space behind you. We don't normally access anything behind us. We're always doing in front of us, forward going. But feel, if you can, the space just behind your body. And also be aware of the space beneath your feet. Even though your feet are on the floor, on the ground, there is the earth below that. And in between all of the rocks and roots and little clods of earth and soil, there is space. And above the ground, of course, from the ground all the way up into the solar system and out into the Milky Way and into the galaxy, there is space everywhere. And this space is a co-continuous space. And through that space, all of the energy that is the universe and that is us flows. And we are part of that space, even though we feel solid. In Zen, they say it's 1,000,000,000,000 emptiness. So grounding in that emptiness, that all-pervasive, beautiful openness, and especially for today's program about this beautiful energy healing, it is through that space through which energy is conducted. So just taking a few breaths more and allowing your body-mind in a somatic way to experience whatever you have heard or perceived from this consideration, as brief as it is, of the spaciousness within and around you, of the light within and around you, and the energy that flows through all of us and connects all of us. And as we close this brief little grounding and centering, I'm going to bring my hands together in the reverent mudra of Anjali Mudra in yoga, the prayer hands position, feeling the energy of my two palms and fingertips touching, and then opening them out and feeling all of the energy of all of you here and of all of those not here. So, blessings to us all.
Thank you, Victoria. That was beautiful.
Oh, my pleasure.
Feel very centered in this space that we're all sharing at this time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So for those who have joined us, thank you. We welcome you to this presentation. My name is Diane Reed. As Melissa mentioned earlier, I work for Watson Caring Science Institute as the Program Enrichment Director, excuse me. And one of those responsibilities is to meet with people such as yourselves and help work with Melissa, Victoria, and Dina, who are our co-chairs for the Mid-Atlantic Consortia. So happy to have that opportunity and welcome their contributions to this program. And also, I get to travel around the country and meet other hospitals, schools of nursing, and attend numerous conferences. And at one of those conferences in June, I met our guest speaker today, JoAnne Veith. And she is a board-certified holistic nurse with over 20 years of experience in healthcare and state government. She is guided by a passion for helping others realize their healing potential, and she integrates traditional healthcare with complementary approaches as a Healing Touch certified practitioner and instructor. JoAnne leads the Healing Touch program's integrative care program and oversees integrative therapies in an oncology clinic and maintains a private energy healing practice in her community. She frequently presents Healing Touch education in the hospital and other community settings, and she serves on the board of the Healing Touch Worldwide Foundation, which I did not know that that was a foundation. I'm going to look forward to looking at that. And she also advances the practice of healing touch and fostering spaces where healing can truly flourish. So thank you, JoAnne, for being with us today and for sharing a little bit of your background. And we look forward to your program.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for that lovely introduction, and Victoria for that lovely meditation. Very much needed before I present. Thank you. If you'll just bear with me, I'm going to share my screen because I do have a little PowerPoint because I really like the visual learning. So I hope other people do too. So I'm going to talk about healing touch as a caring science, and it's energy, intention, and heart-centered presence. So that's really the core of what healing touch is. It's not only hands-on, it's very heart-centered and intentional as we use the energy field of the body. So what is healing touch? It's gentle and it's an energetic approach to health and healing. Practitioners do use their hands in a heart-centered and intentional way to enhance, support, and facilitate whole health, which is physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual health. The goal of it is to support the body's natural self-healing process by restoring harmony and balance to the energy field. So it is based on a person's self-healing. We are not healing them. We are being the facilitator for them to be empowered to heal. And it's heart-centered and caring relationship in which we come together. So we're meeting our clients where they're at, and we're taking that into consideration as we work with them. So the implication is, this is the hands-on part. So practitioners would consciously set an intention to connect with their patient. It says here, but it could be a client, it could be a friend, a colleague, anyone. Hands are placed lightly on or near the body. So that's the beauty of healing touch. If people want to be touched, we can touch them. If they don't want to be touched so much, we can also do it off the body. And it really is a combination of both. And the hands are used to stimulate a healing response, which we just talked about, to facilitate the body's natural healing. You know, we know that the body has the ability to heal itself if given the right tools and the right environment. So just a little bit about Healing Touch program. It is one of the only energy-based programs that has ethics and standards policies, and it is also accredited, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But the code of ethics serves as a guide for all of our practitioners and the practice of healing touch as we go out into the world. And Healing Touch program scope of practice really defines whether you're a student, an apprentice, or a practitioner or certified practitioner. So it really standardizes it for everyone, so everyone's clear on their role as they go through the journey. So let's talk a little bit about our amazing energy systems, because it really is amazing. It's made up of the chakra system, the meridians, and the biofield, or our aura. So some of you may be familiar with energy work, some of you maybe not so much. So I tried to gear this towards really explaining it for everyone in the simplest of terms. But what we do know is that the human body does not end with the skin. So, you know, most people think that's all we have, but it's a continuous energy field that surrounds the body. We can't see it, but it's scientifically proven that it's there. And it's part of a larger energetic system, and it plays a significant role in health and healing. And this quote is from James Oshman in his book, Energy Medicine Defined. That's the name of the book. So what I like to tell people when they're, you know, just learning about the energy field is, if you were to, you know, we're all sensing energy all the time. So if you walk into a room and you get a sense, or you get a chill, or you get a sense that people are upset, or you sense anger in the room, it's really your energy field that's connecting with the energy in that room. And you're filtering it. You're filtering in what's happening, and you're filtering out how your energy field is going to deal with that. So kind of a simple way to look at it. So our chakras, this is a picture of straight on our chakras and vertically, so you can see how they move in and out of the body. So we have 7, and I'm sorry that the picture on the left doesn't really depict the crown chakra very well. It kind of ends with the brow. But they are vortices of circular energy. So they're sort of centered around the spinal column right in front, and they radiate out the front and the back of the body. So if you imagine a drain, you know, and the water going down the drain, it's that kind of cycle. So it's really creating our energy field. They're very subtle centers, and they manage the flow of energy in and out of the body. So it's how we're processing energy. This is a picture of the meridians, and I like to include this. The practice of healing touch does not 100% deal with the meridians. There are 2 things that we have, 2 techniques that we have that deal directly with the meridian system, but this is used mostly in acupuncture. But we like to acknowledge it because you can see from this picture, the chakras run through the main line of the body, and then the meridian tracks are through the whole body. So in effect, while we're doing healing touch, we are affecting the meridian system, and it is part of our energy field. And this is our biofield, or our aura. So each of those chakras creates one level of our field. Our lowest chakra, the root chakra, being the closest to our body, and our crown chakra being that golden yellow, and everything in between. So this is our chakras creating this beautiful aura around us. So when the energy field is healthy and whole, we're really walking around like a rainbow, colorful, vibrational, light. And when things are not so well in our energy field, this can become a little duller, a little grayer, maybe not so shining. Maybe we don't feel so good, but this is a healthy energy field. So those three factors, the chakras, the meridians, and this biofield layers, make up our energy system. And they interpenetrate the physical body and create this field around us. So our energy, why is it so important? Because it's everything. Everything in the universe has its own unique vibrational frequency. When we think of what we deal with every day, other people, our phones, all of our electronics that we're so surrounded with because we live in this wonderful age of technology. And I don't say wonderfully facetiously, it is wonderful, but we have to deal with, the energy coming from that. Our bodies, our thoughts, our emotions are made of energy. Our energy vibrates at different frequencies based on different factors. So if we're at our ultimate health, we're vibrating very high. If we're grounded and centered, we're vibrating at a higher level. When we're bogged down with maybe a sickness, an illness, maybe we're worried, we're troubled, we're disturbed about something, our vibration can become lower. Important to remember that our frequency influences how we feel, interact with others, and experience life. So our energy field is important because it's how we're experiencing life. So if we're not feeling like we're experiencing it so well, it's sad. We want to be finding that joy in our lives. So this is just a picture I show people to kind of just do a little self-assessment for yourself right now. Do you feel like the lovely free-flowing river that's freed up? You're feeling good, you're feeling energetic, all is well? Or do you feel a little more stagnant, like the picture that should be on your right, could be on your left? And this is to give people a simple explanation about our energy fields. We should be free-flowing. A healthy energy field is free and upbeat, flowing freely. As we get more stagnant, and this is where disease can happen. The longer you stay stagnant, the longer you can't clear your energy field, you can become ill the longer things stay in your field. So that's just a little visual. Sure. And we are both electric and magnetic. So we know that the heart has electromagnetic energy. This picture from HeartMath Institute is a picture of the biofield of the heart. So you can see how large that is. And they do say, and I think it was NIH, that the biofield of the heart, the electromagnetic field of the heart, is bigger than the brain. We know our brains have electromagnetic activity as well. So these two things being true, and the fact that we have iron in our blood, it makes up that electromagnetic field of the body. And this is a little bit of the science that we talk about. All right, let's move to the next. So this is a picture of two magnets with metal filings around it. So this depicts and resembles our own energy field. So the magnetic filings around the magnets sort of represent, you can see, if you were able to do this as an experiment, you would see that it makes this torus around the magnet. So that's that electromagnetic energy in the body. And the forces we feel when we push and pull magnets of like poles are similar to those of the human energy field. The human energy field is just more subtle. Even if you can't sense energy, you can still be an effective practitioner. So I just want to show you, I don't know if you'll be able to see my little magnets. I bring these to class, and you see the like sides stick together really strong. But if you change to the opposite side, you'll get to about there and you'll feel a resistance. So I know it's hard to see on Zoom, but I'm going to show you in a minute with your own hands. But I want you to imagine what it might like. I think everyone's had the experience of putting opposite sides of the magnet together and they won't go. You sense a resistance there. So healing touch practitioners can create this measurable frequency with their hands. So what I want you to try to do now is to just rub your hands together a little bit, if you will. Just get them warmed up. And then just stop and hold them there. And you're just going to slowly bring them away from one another. You're just going to pull them away and notice any sensation that you might sense. Pull them about shoulder width apart. And as you're doing that, you're just noticing what you might sense. And then slowly, you're going to move them back together. And as you're doing that, you're also going to sense what you may or may not feel. As you get closer, you may feel some resistance like those magnets. It could be very subtle. You might feel just a small sense of resistance. Some people may experience a vibration. Sometimes it feels like a little energy ball. And then you can just do that a few times, just bring them back out again. Noticing again what you may or may not be sensing. So about shoulder width apart. And then you're going to come back together again. Again, noticing, just noticing. There's no right or wrong. Everybody's going to feel maybe a little something different. So you get possibly closer. You may have to get real close. And maybe you don't sense anything at all. And you know what? That's okay too. Being kinesthetic is not a prerequisite for doing healing touch. You can also be a very effective practitioner without being able to sense energy with your hands. And then if you want to, you can keep doing that, or you can also come a little bit above your head and sort of just sense your own field if you can. Again, if you don't sense anything, it's perfectly fine. These exercises to sort of sense your own energy is a nice way to sort of introduce you to what energy might feel like as you're working with another. And maybe, the next time you're working with your hand. And it's just a noticing exercise. There's no right or wrong answers for any of that. It's just sensing your own space, your own area, and your own energy. Did anybody have any comments about how that felt?
JoAnne, this is Diane. I felt something in the pads of my fingertips and then in the center of my palms. More so when I was pushing back in.
Yes. Wonderful. That's good. That's the start, you know, and when we're teaching Healing Touch Level 1, that's the beginning, you know, just sort of sensing what energy might feel like yourself and others. So it's a nice thing to try.
I felt something on maybe the knuckle part of my hand, like maybe bouncing almost, like a pulsing across those hard parts of the hand.
Yes. Sensing your own electromagnetic energy. And it's pretty powerful, you know, and when we think about working with the hands, and then when you think about adding an intention and holding that intention for the other's highest good, how powerful the work really can be when you start to use the hands. So thank you guys for doing that. And that's what we just talked about. What does energy feel like? And it can feel different to everyone. So there's many different descriptions for how people sense energy. If you're not kinesthetic, you can also sense energy through intuition, through hearing, through many of the senses that we have in the body. So everyone, each and every individual is going to be different, a little different. So the principles of healing touch do align with holistic nursing theories. So it honors wholeness, the wholeness of the human being. Quality and impact of the treatment are influenced by relationships, so that therapeutic presence and the safety that we can provide for our people that we're working with. There's a commitment to professional practitioner development as part of our program. It complements traditional approaches to health and healing. So we're never saying that we're removing any of that. What we do actually can very well complement someone's healing process. It's a caring science based in science and other theory. And it's a heart-centered energetic framework of universal love. It aligns with these holistic nursing theorists, of course, Florence Nightingale's environmental theory, integral nursing by Barbara Dossi, comfort care, Catherine Kolkaba, and of course, the theory of human caring and caring science by Dr. Jean Watson. Dr. Watson actually took Healing Touch Level 1, and I'll show you that in a minute. But these are our accreditations and endorsements. So we're one of the only energy programs that's accredited by the ANCC. We're endorsed by American and Canadian holistic programs, and of course, Watson Caring Science. We're parallel pathways with that heart-centered intention, authentic presence, transpersonal connection, and a sacred space for people's healing. So this was Dr. Watson's testimonial after she took level 1, that healing touch is an example of an intentional, caring, healing modality grounded in an ethic, philosophy, values, and consciousness consistent with my original theory of human caring and transpersonal caring. Thus, there is a convergence between Caritas nursing and healing touch in that they both work from a framework of universal love as the basis of all healing and all caring relationships. So I just thought it was important for us to know that. This is a diagram of the physiological response to healing touch. So this is taken from Carol Cometer's Healing Touch for Animals, and Carol lets us use this for our curriculum because it applies to humans as well, not just animals. But regulates the immune system and influences every cell of the body. So when we talk about that relaxation response, when we go into that deep relaxation, all of these things can happen over and over again. So releasing the endorphins, relaxing the muscles. The relaxed muscles create more space between the cells, providing that increased circulation, elevating the oxygen levels. Nutrients can be absorbed better and more efficiently, and enzymes build for proper digestion. And regulating hormones, releasing toxins, healthy cell growth, And of course, overall, it promotes healing. So these are the physiological aspects of a healing touch session. Healing touch is also evidence-based. So there's many studies, variety of patient populations that suggest healing touch provides significant and promising results in the following areas. So all of these things and more: pain, anxiety, physical functioning, PTSD, immune function, fatigue, and length of stay and recovery time after post-operatively. So I'm just looking for my notes on one thing. So what's exciting too is that the most recent study was just recently published, and I can provide copies of that if you guys would like to see it, but from the Louis Bolk Institute in the Netherlands. It was conducted through a grant through the Healing Touch Worldwide Foundation. And this research, it suggests metabolic differences in cancer patients receiving healing touch. And it's an exciting step towards really correlating these measurable changes in the human body. So it's very exciting, and it's very recent research, which is more needed. But this healingtouchresearch.com can also provide some other studies that have been done. And there are ongoing studies being done in many places. I'm going to talk about the research we're doing in our hospital in just a moment. As I said in the beginning and was introduced, I am the Integrative Care Program Manager for Healing Touch Programs. So my role there is to help others bring healing touch as an integrated therapy into hospitals and other organizations. We have this manual that really has a lot of good information in it on how to write policy, how to set up programs. And healing touch is one of the modalities that is our accreditation lends credibility to what we do, and it's very low overhead to bring it into a hospital facility. So it is a good modality to start with if you're trying to bring it into a hospital situation. This is where I work at Ellis Medicine, Roswell Park, medical oncology. I do not do any of the medicine part of this. I have the luxury of being hired as an integrative care coordinator. This is me and my colleague, Teresa, and we're hired there every day to come in and do healing touch, aromatherapy, meditation, and some bit of hand massage for our oncology. It is a wonderful thing to do for them, and we are actually conducting a small-scale research project on the effects of healing touch on heart rate and blood pressure and self-reported pain and anxiety. So we're just about done. We're finishing up our last 6 people, and we hope to publish this, whatever the results are, and hopefully present at the next Holistic Nurses Conference. And we really hope that this project is just the birth of more that we can do there. And bottom here is at Christiana Care, my colleague, Stacy Noel. She's an integrative care nurse manager, another very lucky soul who her sole job at Christiana Care is to teach healing touch and bring integrative programs into the hospital. And it's being done in many other hospitals. This is just 2 that I'm mentioning in this presentation. But it's done all over, and in the VAs, in some of the VAs. So these are just some healing touch concepts about becoming grounded and centered like we did in the beginning, and then attuned to either ourselves or who we're working with. And that means we're acknowledging them and joining them and setting our intention for their highest good. Energy is primarily transmitted through intention and thought for the person's highest good. All healing is self-healing. We strive to remain non-attached to the outcome. There's a difference between cure and healing. Someone may be cured from their disease, but still have more healing to do. And meet clients where they're at in their process of healing and empowering them empowering them to take charge of their health. The health and quality of our lives are affected by the health of our energy. All life experiences are recorded and stored in the energy field. Potential illness appears in the field before physical signs, and negatively perceived memories, emotion, and trauma that are held in the body may be released during a healing touch session. One of the things that I love about healing touch, as coming from a nursing background where I always felt like I could do more or should be able to do more, it gives me a tool that allows me to help someone without doing something medical for them. And it's really a nice way for people to release what's being held in the body without them even having to really think about it. That's the beauty of healing touch, what I think, and energy healing to begin with. So all of these things that we're talking about and trauma being stored in the body, while talk therapy and other therapies have their place in someone's healing process, healing touch and other energy modalities can really bring it home for them. Or if someone's coming home from surgery or being affected by an illness and they come home and they fail to thrive, or their pain is still unmanageable, or they have other things that are not going well, healing touch can really help get them over that hump. If we have family members, if we're treating the whole family, and we have the caregivers who are burnout, can't do, anything for themselves because they're constant 24/7. And I really believe that's an epidemic these days, is caregivers who are sandwiched in between maybe kids, grandkids, and parents. And there's nothing left for them. Healing touch can be a wonderful self-care for them. There was something else I was going to say and I can't remember. But these are all very important concepts as we think of healing and we think about working with our hands. So the beauty of it is there's no contraindications or risks at all. It's evidence-based and safe. It creates that parasympathetic response to get us out of fight or flight and into recover and restore. It complements traditional healthcare. And the beauty of it is it can be administered anywhere, at the nurse's station, in a chair, in bed. If you're working on your kids, grandkids, you can have them sitting on the floor or laying on the floor. And this is the point I wanted to make on the other side. This is also wonderful self-care for our colleagues. So there's things that we can do for our colleagues sitting at the nurse's station. How many times can a nurse or, anybody that we're working with in the healthcare field get away from their desks or take time out for themselves? So there's wonderful things you can do to care for your colleagues as well. So what is my time looking like, Diane? How much time do we have?
You have 15 minutes.
Okay, perfect. I'd like to voice guide you through a technique that's called Self Chakra Connection. This is a lovely way that you can take care of yourselves during the day, at home. And if we just do a little review again, here's all the chakras. So our root chakra, our sacral chakra, our solar plexus, the heart, the throat, our brow, or some people call it the third eye, and our crown chakra. So each of our chakra centers are correlated with a spiritual and emotional component, as well as a body gland or another area. The exercise I'm going to take you through is going to connect us from foot to head to really feel that whole body connection. So if you wouldn't mind, if you'd like to participate, I'm going to voice guide you through this so you don't have to pay attention to these diagrams, but this just gives you an idea of how you can do this for yourself. And this will be an available handout to you as well, so that you can follow the directions at your leisure when you want to. So if you would just kind of get comfortable in your chair. If you can't raise your legs, you can also do this by intention. Okay, so we're going to be using our hands. We're going to start with our feet. You can do it over your shoe. It's completely fine, or you can take your shoes off. If you can't reach your leg up, it's okay. Just hold your palms out and do that by intention. But if you'd like to start with your right foot, we're going to hold the bottom of one foot and the top of the other foot, setting that intention for clearing, connecting, and balancing that foot, and actually creating a little energy drain to just let go of anything that no longer serves us in that area as we're going through the body. You can close your eyes, you can have a soft gaze. Keep your breathing light. And as we think about holding this foot, we can say a little gratitude to our foot for supporting us in all of our activities. And we're going to move our bottom hand to our ankle and the top hand to the knee. Holding our palms over that ankle joint and the knee joint. And thinking about sending energy from the ankle to the knee to clear, connect, and balance. Thanking our ankles and our knees for everything they do to support us every day. Sending energy from your palms into these areas of the body. And then you're going to take the hand that's on your ankle to the knee, and the other hand's going to go to your right hip. Holding that palm over your hip joint and your knee. Imagining a white beam of light going from the knee to the hip, clearing, connecting, and balancing. Thank you to our knees, and thank you to the hip. Releasing anything that's stored in these joints that we no longer need. And we're going to release our hands and we're going to turn to the other foot. So you're going to take your left foot now, hold the bottom of the left foot and the top, clearing, connecting, and balancing, creating that drain to let anything go that we no longer need. And thanking our foot for supporting us. And you're going to take the hand on the bottom of your foot to your ankle and your other hand to your knee on the left side. Clearing, connecting, and balancing from the ankle to the knee. Releasing anything that's no longer needed. Feeling that connection in the lower body. Thank you to the ankle. Thank you to the knee. Then take that hand from the ankle to the knee and the knee hand to the hip. Clearing, connecting, and balancing. Imagining just a white beam of energy going from the knee to the hip. Feeling your left leg connecting, balancing. Then leaving your one hand on the left hip, you're going to take your knee hand to the other hip and hold both hips together. Clearing, connecting with a beam of energy between both hip joints. Feeling that connection through the hips, down to the knees, down to the feet. Complete lower body connection. Releasing anything that we no longer need. And you're going to take your right hand to your root chakra. So your root chakra is at the base of your spine. So you're actually going to point your palm towards the base of your spine. If you just put your palm on the mid-thigh with your palm pointing towards your middle of your body, your spine. It's in figure 6 on the picture. It's your root chakra. And your other hand is going to go to the sacral chakra. So that's right below your belly button and your abdomen. So the root chakra is red and it spins downward towards the earth. It's our connection to the earth, our will to live, our groundedness, and our physicality. And our sacral chakra is orange, spins out the front and the back of our body. It's our center of emotional feelings. Our feeling center. So we're clearing, connecting, and balancing between the root and the sacral. And you're going to take your bottom hand, your right hand to the sacral now, and your left hand to the solar plexus, which is above the belly button, below the heart. So we have our right hand on the sacral, and our left hand on the solar plexus, one below and one above the belly button. Clearing, connecting, and balancing. From our feeling center, our orange chakra, our sacral, to our solar plexus, which spins yellow. It's our area of the mental body, our mental thoughts, our linear thinking, connected to our self-worth and self-esteem. And you bring your bottom hand now to the solar plexus above the umbilicus, and your other hand to the spleen on the left side of your body, right below the rib cage. We include the spleen in the chakra connection as a very important part of our immune system. Clearing, connecting, and balancing from root, the sacral, to solar and spleen. Now we're going to leave our hand on the solar plexus, and we're going to bring our spleen hand to the heart. The heart is in the middle of the chest, below the sternum, near the brow, near the breastbone. And we're clearing, connecting between the solar and the heart. The heart chakra spins green, beautiful emerald green color, and is the bridge between our lower, more physical chakras and our upper, more spiritual chakras. It's also our center for unconditional love, self-care, and self-compassion. Now we're going to take the hand from the solar plexus to the heart, and our other hand is going to go to the thymus gland, or the high heart, which is right below the throat, but above the heart. We're clearing, connecting, and balancing. We also include the thymus gland as an important part of our immune system, connecting it to all the chakras. Now we're going to take both of our hands and hold both of our wrists as we include the upper extremities. So just give your wrists a little palm connection on both sides, clearing, connecting, and balancing both wrists and all the small minor chakras that are in each little joint. Giving the wrists a thank you for everything they do to support us throughout our days. And we're going to take both of our hands and place them on both elbows and do the same with each small chakra in each elbow, clearing, connecting, and balancing, connecting our upper limbs to our torso, acknowledging the support that they give us every day. And then both hands to both shoulders. Give yourself a little hug. Placing both palms on both shoulders. Clearing, connecting, and balancing in this area. Thinking about all the support our shoulders and arms give us each day. Connecting it to our torso. Feeling that connection to the earth. And please take your right hand back to the thymus gland or the high heart. And your left hand is going to go in front of your throat. If you'd like to touch your own throat, that's fine. Or just hold it out in front. Palm facing the throat chakra. Throat chakra is a beautiful sky blue color. Spinning both at the front and the back. Clearing, connecting, and balancing. This is our center for speaking our truth, having our own voice, and also our blueprint in the 5th level of the field for our optimal health. Then take your hand from the high heart to the throat and your other hand to the brow. Clearing, connecting, and balancing from the throat to the brow. Our third eye, our wisdom, our creativity. Spins beautiful, deep indigo color. Our higher thought. Clearing, connecting, and balancing. Then take your other hand to the brow and your other hand to the crown, top of your head. As we clear, connect, and balance from the brow to the crown. The crown spins upward towards the universe or the heavens. Beautiful violet white light. Clearing, connecting, and balancing our higher self. In touch with our higher purpose. And then take the hand from your brow to your crown, and your other hand just hold a little bit above your head with your palm facing up towards the roof or the sky. And this point is your transpersonal point. It's where your energy field meets the universal energy field. It's your boundary, the outer edge of your field. Clearing, connecting, and balancing from your crown to your outer edge. And then you can take both hands down. Take a big breath. Feel your connectedness from your feet to your head. And I thank you for going through the exercise. We went through that a little bit fast for time's sake, but you can take as long as you want with that. And it can also be done in a short amount of time if you only have a short amount of time. The difference in it is your intention while you're doing it. Okay. We can do both. We can talk about what that was like, and you can ask me any questions you'd like for our last couple minutes here. I will have these handouts for you.
Yes. Thank you, JoAnne. I put my email in the chat for anybody who would like to receive those handouts. Just send me an email to diane@watsoncaringscience.org and I'll forward them to you when I get them from JoAnne. So
Perfect.
that was wonderful, JoAnne. Very relaxing. The pictures were easy to follow and your voice was very soothing and supportive as we walked through that. At least that's how I felt. So thank you.
You're welcome. Welcome.
Diane, this is Melissa. I just had a question.
Yes.
I was curious. I really enjoyed this exercise, so thank you. Where do you use this most often? I know you have private clients that you work with, and you're also in the hospital setting. So what, um, do you use this most frequently, like for, or what type of people?
Yes, this is a very, it's one of the most foundational full body techniques. So we use this a lot. I personally use this a lot, especially at the hospital. We're treating people in the oncology clinic who are mostly in those loungers in the chemo bays. So they can put their feet up and they can put their head back. And chakra connection is one of the best ways to treat them while they're there. It's time effective, it's simple, it's a very effective technique. There's a couple of them we do, but I do this a lot, especially with a new client. If somebody's coming to me for the first time, usually what I find is that they have some congestion in their field. So most of the time, a chakra connection is a wonderful way to start and introduce them to the modality. So it's very common. I use it all the time. And it's great for self-care. Like if you really only had a few minutes of your day, you could just find a quiet spot and just go intentionally from one spot to the other. You know, ultimately you want to take a little time, but if you don't have time, you can still do this in an effective way.
That's great. There's a couple of comments. Danielle says, thank you so much. It was wonderful. Shannon shares that she loved this so much. Her son has a trauma history, and you are not kidding, that trauma stays in the body. This will be helpful to me in caring for him as well as my patients. Thank you so much for sharing. I am looking forward to trying this last exercise with him. Thank you, Paul, for sharing.
I was going to ask a question. How similar is this to Reiki? Do you know?
Yeah, it is in the same family. So energy therapies, there's many. Healing touch program, healing touch is one way. It's who originated it, and I think that Victoria can probably speak to this too, but Reiki was introduced in Japan by someone who was not in the medical field, not in the nursing field. Janet Menken worked with many healers, including Barbara Brennan, and based some of her work on the work of Alice Bailey, which is an ancient, you know, Alice Bailey was around many moons ago. And these principles have been around for many years. So Healing Touch program is different in that it's what Janet did with it when she took it and created her own program, which was standardized, and she put together some techniques which may or may not be are different from Reiki. And Reiki has a little bit different philosophy, but it's both in the same family, working with the energy field in the body for healing.
Okay.
So there's differences, yet not.
Gotcha.
Same
All right.
thing.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that was wonderful. Thank you.
I just wanted to thank you, JoAnne. This was lovely, and I've never had any experience before with Healing Touch, and I really enjoyed that. And to the question about the similarities or differences with Reiki, as a Reiki practitioner for a couple of decades, I've played around with a lot of different energy techniques, and you know, whatever we call it, therapeutic touch, healing touch, Reiki, laying on of hands, energy medicine, Qigong healing, there are different cultural and historical practices that all basically use the same basic principles. We're connecting with the energy force that is present in the universe. We're attuning our energy and the other person's energy with an intention for healing and well-being. And I think that even if you are not a trained practitioner in one of these modalities, you know, when we touch with intention and bring ourselves into the present moment and just use our resources at hand, I think a lot of good can happen. But these other practices, especially what you had said about Healing Touch having this ethical basis and research basis and accreditation, you know, that gives this beautiful credibility and application in healthcare that some of the others don't have or have a little less than. So thank you. That was just lovely.
Welcome. It's beautifully said, yes.
There's several other comments thanking you for your presentation. She was juggling her 1- and 2-year-old during this session, so I wasn't able to fully present, but I deeply appreciate the parts I was able to catch. This is from Dina Peterson, and the work you're doing is so meaningful, and I'm grateful for the chance to learn from you. So that's very nice. And Tina Roma Fisher says, thank you for the lovely presentation. It was such a nice break in the day. So Thank you all for those comments. Are
Right.
there any other questions or comments? If not, we'll move into our last two opportunities to say hello and center us and send us on to what's left for us to do today after this session.
It was a wonderful presentation. Thank you.
Yeah, great. So for those who might have joined later, I'm Diane Reed, the Program Enrichment Director for Watson Caring Science Institute. I have the pleasure of working with Melissa, Dina, and Victoria as our Mid-Atlantic Consortium co-chairs for the Institute, and the opportunity to invite JoAnne to present to us today. So thank you so much, JoAnne. It was a wonderful presentation, and this has been recorded. And if you want some of the handouts that JoAnne's going to provide, again, my email is in the chat. And just in my role, I'm here to answer anybody's questions around caring science or support your journey in caring science. I know some of you are Caritas coaches or possibly Caritas leaders as well. I've met a few of you in person and at other conferences, and some of you are new to me. So I welcome the opportunity. Please reach out to me and please visit our website for other programs or other consortiums. We are regionally based across the country, and our next consortium event is actually happening. Let me grab my calendar. I think the next one is November 14th, and that will be at 6 o'clock Eastern Time, and that's being chaired by our California organization. And if you go to our website under programs and over to consortia, you'll see all the states located, and they have their own events schedule. So we welcome that opportunity. And so I want to say thank you again for everybody who's been here and the work behind the scenes to make this presentation available. So I'd like to turn it over to Dina, our colleague from New York, to close us out, and then I'll finish the recording.
Okay. So I'm going to do a little closing based on the poet John O'Donohue's work. And actually, the name of it is States of Heart. And it talks so much about the state of heart, which goes so well with this, what we learned today. So I'm just going to see if I can share the screen. Hopefully, can you see it? Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. And just tell me, is the screen changing?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay. So I'm going to read one of his essays, and I'm going to take you through the imagery that goes with it. So this is John O'Donohue's States of Heart. The human body is an amazing masterpiece. With the senses we see, taste, and touch the world, drawing its mystery inside of us. With the mind, we probe the internal structure of things. With the face, we present ourselves to the world and recognize one another. It is the heart that makes us human. The heart is where the beauty of the human spirit comes alive. To be able to feel is the great gift. When you feel for someone, you become united with that person in an intimate way. Your concern and compassion come alive, drawing some of the other person's world and spirit into yours. Feeling is the bridge that penetrates solitude and isolation. Without the ability to feel, friendship and love could never be born. Feeling is born in the heart. This makes the human heart the jewel of the world. Facing outward, the senses are in ever new conversation with whatever surrounds us. Facing possibility, the mind is in relentless thought flow. The heart is concerned with who we are. It is ever attentive to how we feel. It senses and feels where the care, the joy, the fear, and the tenderness reside. Always and at every point, the heart remembers who we are. Though so much else is in motion in the mind and the senses, the hidden heart never loses sight of us. Become still and listen to the heart to know exactly where you are. Because the mind is engaged with now, it can forget who we are. The heart never forgets. Everything of significance is inscribed there. The heart is the archive of our intimate memory. What is truly felt leaves the deepest inscription. We carry the book of our life inside our hearts. Though we live much of our lives outside, in action and engagement with the world, the deeper impact of what happens is registered in the narrative of the heart. Because of its sublime sensitivity to everything happening to us, the heart absorbs the joy of things and also their worry and pain. Within us, therefore, a burdening can accrue. For this reason, it is wise to tune into your heart and listen for what it carries. Sometimes the simplest things affect unexpected transformation. When you allow your heart to speak, the burdens it carries diminish. A new lightness enters your body, and relief floods the heart. It brings great joy to feel alive, to sense the beauty and privilege of being here. The shape of the heart, of the human heart, is distinctive, an instantly recognizable image. It is an interesting shape, neither a circle nor a triangle. It somehow manages to blend both contours. Viewed through the metaphor of the triangle, the heart is a space where the self and its otherness unite to configure the individual presence of the person. This threefold structure is also the structure at work in friendship and love. You, the friend, and the triangle is completed in the third force, which is the spirit of the relationship, which is more than the sum of the two dimensions. Viewed through the metaphor of the circle, other qualities of the heart are seen. The heart has a beautiful simultaneity, being at once the place of arrival and departure within the body. Wearied blood arrives there to be refreshed and renewed, and it is from this place that the newly invigorated life force sets forth. It is a place of unending that is always a new beginning. The circle is an ancient form. It signifies continuity, belonging, and permanence. It is consoling to think that at the center of the human body, the heart holds one's life within its circle. State of one's heart shapes one's life. It is the place where everything is decided. A courageous heart will go forth and engage with life despite confusion and fear. A fearful heart will be hesitant. A compassionate heart need ever carry the heavy burden of judging others. A forgiving heart knows the art of liberation. A loving heart awakens the spirit of possibility and engagement with others. The heart is the divine sanctuary. And
Thank you, Dina. That was beautiful.
you're welcome. So amazing how well it coincided with what we did today.
Absolutely. That imagery was beautiful, and your words and reading were very meaningful. So thank you for sharing that with us today.
Thank you.
Does anybody have any other comments or questions before we close our time together?
Just an appreciation. This was just so lovely. I'm so happy to see everyone here. And it's just delightful to connect with you all. And thank you, JoAnne. And Dina, that was beautiful. The imagery was very inspiring to me as an artist. And I love John O'Donohue. So thank you again. That's just beautiful.
Yeah.
Dina, someone would like to also have that poem. Is that a written poem? If you email that to me, I can share it with people.
Yes, I will. And it's from his book, and I'll send the book and the reference and things.
Thank you.
Picture, yeah. It's a wonderful book.
Thank you so much. All
Yes.
right. Well, our time is coming to a close. We appreciate everybody taking this time, and we look forward to another event in 2026 for the Mid-Atlantic team, but please visit the website. Anybody can attend any of our consortia events across the country at any time. Just have to be patient with the time zones and figure it out wherever you're from. So thank you. And Melissa, do you have any final words you'd like to say?
No, I just wanted to thank JoAnne again, our speaker, and thank Victoria and Dina with our opening and closing. And thank you, Diane, as well for your coordination. Thanks, everyone.
It was a true pleasure. Everybody stay well.